What's up, guys? It's another mediocre podcast episode, Lemon and Soap Project, and I'm here with...
You know who it is.
It's Colin with two L's. He has two L's in his name. He added that recently. Yeah?
No, just one.
Yeah,
Just one.
not how I spell it, but... So, we're coming to you with another... This isn't really structured. This isn't a structured episode today. We're basically just going to be doing nonsense and having fun for an hour. But, it's going to be a good time. Colin, how have you been?
I've been doing pretty good. And you may be wondering, didn't you guys say you were going to be off for 2 weeks? Well, that's because someone made a very big mistake and thought that he'd be out this week and realized it won't be until next week. So, my apologies for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's alright. I mean, worst case scenario, maybe we can record an episode tomorrow and then put that one out next week, or we can just take the 2 weeks. I don't really think it's a huge deal.
Yeah, it's not like anybody's really paying attention to us anyway.
I don't know. It's all for fun. So I don't really see why we should push to get episodes out because
yeah.
I don't think it'd be fun to do that. It's not like we're getting paid for this. If we were getting paid, then yeah, we'd be making episodes for weekly, but I don't think anyone's going to be giving us the big bucks for this show.
Waiting for that sponsor, though.
Yeah, what would you like to be sponsored by?
If I could be sponsored, Raid Shadow.
Nice.
I'd much rather something that I'd actually use, and I've heard that before. People talking about advice. If you're going to be sponsored, use something that you would actually use, and otherwise you're just kind of fake advertising.
Yeah.
If I was sponsored by Under Armour, I would love that, but don't know how that's going to go. So
I'd like to be
we'll check back in on that.
I'd like to be sponsored by LaCroix. I'm a huge LaCroix fan. For those who don't know, I would consider myself a LaCroix boy. That's what I consider myself. I've drank it for a couple of years. It's just so good. My favorite flavor has to be either classic lemon or limoncello, or perhaps a nice lime LaCroix. Love lime. But any flavor is good except for watermelon. So if any of you guys want to go drink some LaCroix, avoid watermelon at all costs. Because I've never met someone who likes watermelon LaCroix. I'm sure people like that are out there, but I haven't met them.
I have yet to try LaCroix, so I'll stick to the great old H2O.
Here's the thing with LaCroix. It's you have to motivate yourself to drink it. Because the first, it's like beer. I don't drink beer, but first beer you have, it's not good. Same thing with your first LaCroix. It tastes like ass. And you gotta just motivate yourself.
Why do you drink it? Why do you drink?
Because it's a better alternative to soda. It tastes good once you get past the gap of, ew, this tastes like ass. Once you get past that, it's this is really good. But, that's just
makes
me.
no sense to me. If you don't like something, just don't drink it.
Yeah, I know, but you train yourself to like it, But here's the thing. The first flavor I had was peach pear LaCroix, and that wasn't very great, and then I had lemon, and lemon was, chef's kiss on that one. Lemon is amazing.
Lemons are pretty good.
Yeah. What's your favorite soda, Colin? How about that?
My favorite soda? That's a good question. I'm gonna have to go with root beer.
Classic.
That's usually the one I go to.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat classic root beer.
Yeah.
I mean...
if I had to decide which one, I'd probably go with, I think it's Bark.
Mm-hmm.
Bark. I don't know how to pronounce it. It looks weird.
Yeah.
But that one I like.
Yeah. One thing about soda that pisses me off is the people who say pop instead of soda. They're like, oh, you want some pop? I
believe that's a British thing.
I thought it was a Midwest thing, pop.
Is it? Oh yeah, it is Midwest, but I'm pretty sure it originated from British slang.
Well, that explains why it's so bad, honestly.
Yep.
Yeah. We're not fans of British people.
with their crisps and their cookies.
I got to admit, calling a cookie a crisp is very funny, but it's also really stupid. So.
Yeah.
So, oh shit! Accidentally messed up the format of the screen. Sorry for that. Technical difficulties. My apologies. I don't want to get fired from the show.
Yeah, just stop pushing buttons.
Yeah, I gotta stop. Okay. But anyway, someone told me that you are learning piano, Colin. Is that true?
Oh yes, I finally decided to get on the piano game again. No, I haven't gotten really anything. I literally learned four notes, but
Hmm.
it's from one of the greatest songs ever,
Yeah,
Piano Man.
yeah. You know,
But
sorry, go ahead.
it's a little tough, I'm not very good at it, like the hand movement. But what are you
Yeah.
gonna do?
It just takes practice, I assume. I tried to learn piano once upon a time, and I feel like I'm good at learning instruments, but then I just lose interest in it, and I go from being like, all right, I'm making progress to I don't feel like doing this anymore. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but I do play a mean harmonica, and I'm gonna try to stick to that. Maybe if you guys are lucky, I'll play for you on the show one time, but probably not because I don't feel like it.
I don't think that's gonna work with the audio.
Yeah,
It always cuts off.
that's true. Another instrument that I'd like to play would be the mandolin. I love the mandolin. That's the instrument in Going to California. Pretty good. What?
It's a very odd instrument.
Very odd. Why is it an
Well,
odd instrument?
I've never heard of it before.
You've never heard of a mandolin?
No.
Okay, maybe you're just weird, man.
What does it look like?
It looks like kind of like a weird guitar.
Ah,
You've never seen the meme, Amanda, and it's like I'm a mandolin, and it's just the picture of the guitar.
you can't see it, but I'm like closing my, blinking my eyes of your stupidity.
I think you just don't. Okay, I'm stupid. Says the one who doesn't know what a mandolin is, Colin.
I've never heard of it before. I
Alright,
was
I'm
just
gonna find that
asking.
meme so I can send it to you for after the show.
Okay.
Continue
Anyway,
talking.
um, but I don't know what to talk about. I'm a little this spur of the moment uh recording today.
Yeah.
But
Alright, I found the meme.
What's going on in your life, AJ?
Nothing much. It's pretty boring at the moment. I got some Fortnite wins last night. That was pretty fun.
Nice.
Um, oh, okay. Here's something that okay, now I might get people might question me for this, and I know it might be a weird decision, but I started binge watching Dance Moms again. I've talked to Colin about this. He's never seen it. It's an abysmal show full of terrible people, and I don't condone child abuse at all. I just want to put that out there. I don't condone child abuse. However, comma, that show is addicting. Like like one night, me and my mom were watching it, and we were like, after like one episode, we'll watch a movie. 4 hours later, we were still watching Dance Moms. It just sucks you in. You can't. It's like a rabbit hole that you dig yourself into and have trouble getting yourself back out of. It's insane.
That has got to be one of the worst rabbit holes I think you could fall
It
into.
is really terrible. It's like it's sad to watch, but it's entertaining at the same time. I don't understand, but that's just been something I've been watching. Have you been watching anything interesting recently?
I'm trying to think. I've not really been watching anything. Been watching a lot of YouTube. So there's that.
Any
Just
notable
people
YouTubers you've been
playing
watching?
video games. I'm not going to talk about anybody. That's just weird.
Okay.
But just watching video games, relaxing, playing video games. I've been playing Subnautica Below Zero again. It's like the sequel, I guess. It's not really a sequel because they're coming out with another game, and that's going to be Subnautica 2. But basically, the point of the game is you're looking for your sister on this icy wasteland part of this alien planet, and you got to fight fish. You find an alien friend who like sticks in his conscious into your brain, and all kinds of weird stuff. I might have been on something while I was playing it. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a little trippy,
Yeah, sounds
but it's a
interesting.
fun game.
Yeah. Colin likes things. He likes ocean theme genres of like
Nautical,
movies and games and everything.
yeah. It's something about it that just like sparks my fascination. Like the movie Waterworld with Kevin Costner. A lot of people hated that movie, but I love it.
Yeah. I've heard about. Isn't that like in a post-apocalyptic world where they're like under like basically Earth is flooded or something?
Yeah, Earth is flooded. It's post-apocalyptic. You got the smokers who like control everything and kill everybody, and they're looking for the mythical dry land.
Mm-hmm. Damn, mythical dry land. That sounds.
I mean, that's literally what they call it in the movie.
California.
Huh?
California.
No.
It's a joke because they have a lot of
California is completely underwater.
It was just a joke.
Gone.
Grow a sense of humor. How about that?
It was a horrible joke.
It was very funny. I think you're just a horrible person, but
I'm pretty sure the mythical dry land is the top of Everest, Mount Everest. So not even close.
Who the fuck would want to live at the top of Mount Everest?
Well, when the Earth is flooded and all the ice is gone, it's actually a pretty nice place.
Yeah, but isn't it a little high up? Don't you like get woozy up there because of the high altitude?
Well, the water's already high. Why are you picking apart a movie where the ocean is that high?
I'm just wondering about the logistics, Colin. Don't mind me. Christ. Ask a few questions and you get barked at. Unbelievable.
Oh, but when I ask about an instrument that I never heard of, I'm suddenly the bad guy.
Well, yeah, because that's just because you're an idiot. But, that's neither here nor there.
Takes one to know one.
Alright, don't use my line, Colin. That's my...
No, I said that.
Oh, you are so full of shit. That was my thing, and you stole it.
Oh,
Amy Schumer much?
You are the Amy Schumer.
You're the
I said it first. No, I said it once, and you were like, okay, that was funny. And then you stole it.
That is the biggest load of crap I've ever heard. I said that first, and then you said it, and I was like, okay, that's funny.
I said it first. You didn't say it until I said it.
I'm not engaging. You're trying to rile me up, and I'm just not going to fall for it.
Your thing is the, what do you usually say? I know what you are, but what am I?
Yeah,
That's
I say that one
thing.
too, but I also said takes one to know one.
No, you don't. You only said that after I did.
You're such a liar, Colin.
Oh my god.
I don't, this is what I have to deal with all the time. Pathological liar over here.
You are the liar here.
I'm not the liar.
Whatever.
You're the liar. You're lying by saying I'm lying, so you're lying.
No, I'm not. I was the one that said it first, and then you started using it.
I will openly admit I am a compulsive, awful liar. However, I'm telling the truth about this. This is the one time I'm truthful.
This is the biggest lie I think you've ever told, other than that you liked being friends with me.
Unbelievable. I'm moving on. You're trying to get me riled up, and I'm just not going to fall for it,
Well,
I'm going to take the high road.
But I'm not trying to rile you up. I'm just trying to state a fact that you don't agree with. Apparently.
No, it's not a fact. It's a matter of I'm right and you're wrong.
It's okay, AJ. We can agree to disagree and move on.
Yeah, we can agree to disagree and agree that I'm right. So anyway.
You're not right.
So... Today, we like doing top 5 lists each episode, just some silly, goofy things, or just stupid things, however you like to look at it.
Silly, goofy things. Are we 5 years old, AJ?
Am I not allowed to use those words? Look how look how we're both dressed right now, Colin. We look 5 years old with these stupid-ass disguises on our faces.
I look great. I don't know what you're talking about.
There's many things to describe how you look.
You're the one over here cosplaying Adam Driver.
You look like an orange condom right now, Colin. I don't understand. I mean, look at your head. You look deranged.
Well, that kind of happens with the hair. Like, it's hard to wear masks like
It's
this.
hard?
Anyway.
Whoa, buddy.
Top five hated characters.
All right,
Let's
top
go.
5 hated characters. I'm going to pull up my list.
All right. Yeah, I'll pull up mine too. What's your number 1, AJ?
All right, so number 1 is most hated and 5 is least, correct?
Yes.
Okay. My number 1, wait. So 5, we're starting off with 5. So.
No, we're starting number 1.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be cooler if we worked up to our the most hated and then to the least hated?
We talked about this before we started the podcast. We're doing number 1 first.
Okay, but 1 is the most hated. Why would we start off with that?
Because we did it differently last time. We started with the least last top 5.
Okay,
now
fine.
we're doing the most.
Okay, whatever. Okay.
You agreed to this last night.
I did, but I didn't really realize how stupid it was until now.
Stupid. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, my number 1 most hated character is the Deep from the TV show The Boys. Now, there's many reasons why he's annoying and just lame. First of all, he's extremely evil. He's a sex offender. He's a murderer. He's overall just a terrible person. But even more so than that, he's just fucking annoying. Like, he's basically a glorified fish and thinks he's better than everyone else. And you just want to flick him in the head. But you can't because he's a superhero at the end of the day, so he'd be able to kick your ass. And it just pisses me off that someone that lame would easily be able to kick my ass in that universe. So that's why I hate him the most. He's very annoying, and I can't stand him. What about you?
Yeah, my number one definitely has to be Professor Well, I mean, I don't know if you'd call her Professor, but Dolores Umbridge from the Harry Potter franchise. Now, I never read the books, so already I can tell all the Potterhead fans that watch us, all zero of them, just left. But anyway, this woman genuinely makes my skin crawl. I want to punch her in the face to the point where you can't even see bone anymore. She is the worst scum of the earth I think I've ever seen. She's prissy, she's pompous, and she wears way too much pink. It is god awful looking.
You kind of described yourself. Prissy,
huh?
You kind of described yourself, prissy and pompous.
I don't wear pink.
No, but not the pink part, but everything else. Anyway, go ahead.
Prissy. Anyway, her one redeeming quality is that she has cat plates in her office that, in Harry Potter, all the pictures are moving. And I gotta admit, that is pretty cute. But it just further drives home how much I hate her. Mm-hmm. So yeah, she's just worst person ever. And unfortunately, she returns in the last movie, which I don't know why anybody second to last, I think. I don't remember. It's been a minute since I watched all the movies. But yeah, she's just worst ever. But the actress does a phenomenal job at portraying such a horrible character.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to my number 2. Okay, this is gonna catch me some flack, but it's Walter White from Breaking Bad. Now, a lot of people view Walter White as an anti-hero. I don't. I think he starts off as an anti-hero because he starts making money for his family when he gets diagnosed with cancer. And a lot of people just hold on to that. But in my opinion, I can't stand him because in my opinion, throughout the show, as the show progresses, he starts not doing it for his family and doing it because he wants money and power. And not because he's trying to make money for his family, but because he enjoys the power he has of having this drug empire and because he likes money. And the only reason that pisses me off is because he keeps hiding behind this excuse of, I'm doing it for my family, when he literally doesn't have to anymore. And he's just really annoying. Okay, just got up and left.
Continue talking, sorry.
He's just really annoying. He's a great character, great written character, but I just don't... As the show progresses, he just gets more like a jackass and more annoying. Everyone hates his wife, Skylar. Yeah, she's annoying, but when you really think about it, she would not be put in the situation she's put into if it wasn't for him most of the time. Yeah, she cheated on him with Ted, but, didn't he... If I remember correctly, he cheated on her as well, but two wrongs don't make a right. But, he's not the worst. He's a great character. I want to put that out there. He's an amazingly written character. I just want to punch him when it comes to, season 4 and 5, because he's sacrificing his family, which he claims to do it all for money and power. But yeah, that's number 2 on my list.
Great description. My number 2. This is a bit of a deep cut for you Disney fans. Atlantis: The Lost Empire. Love this movie. Once again, a nautical themed movie that I really enjoy, and I loved this movie as a kid. But the main antagonist, Commander Lyle Rourke, I want him to die so much, and his death scene is phenomenal. He gets cut by the magical crystal. This is a 20-year-old movie, so it's not like I'm spoiling anything. Gets cut by the crystal, turns into this rock monster, and I love the sound effects for the scene. And then he gets chopped to bits in a helicopter blade. Phenomenal scene. But yeah, he's so arrogant, and all he's doing is getting power and money, kind of like Walter White in a way.
Yeah.
And he pushes away Milo, who's trying to preserve the history of the Atlanteans, whereas he's just trying to make money and fame off of it. Mm-hmm. So, kind of not a good guy. But his character is pretty cool, and he looks awesome, but also has a very punchable face.
Yeah. Well, speaking of punchable faces, number 3 on my list is Micah from Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, there might be some spoilers for Colin. he hasn't played the entire game, but for people who have, you know one of the main reasons he's despicable and everyone wants him to die a painful death. But besides that, he's just full of terrible flaws. He's heavily misogynistic. He's ugly. He's very annoying. Like, extremely annoying. He constantly antagonizes Arthur, who is amazing, one of the greatest characters in fiction. He's just, overall, you can tell he is a slimy bastard. He's up to no good, and he just, yeah, I just can't stand him. Every time I play that game, I want him to burn to death, painfully. Like,
yeah, just from the little bit that I have played, he already seems like just kind of a jerk, and yeah, I'd like to punch him.
Literally, you go into a comment section of any Red Dead Redemption video that involves Micah, it's, I can't stand him, I want him to die, or I can't, like, something like that. And everyone just hates this guy. Again, great written character. He's a great character, just, I feel like some of my characters on this list are supposed to be like that type where you just hate them. And also, I want to put this out there. This list is not, like, we did villains already. This is a little bit different than villains because these characters aren't necessarily bad. They're just annoying and you want them to die or punch them or hurt them. They're not necessarily evil, but...
Well, unfortunately, 1 through 4 on my list are all villains in their stories, but they're also really annoying.
Yeah, my number 5 might be a little controversial, but let's move on to your number 4, Colin. How about it?
My number 3.
Number 3? My bad, number 3.
Cutler Beckett, or what is his name? Commodore Beckett, I think. Yeah. I don't remember. From Pirates of the Caribbean. I believe he's in Dead Man's Chest. I don't remember. But you know, his character, he's only in it for money and more power. You know, classic British rule tyranny. Annoying person, basically. And he's got a powdered wig that just looks disgusting, and I want to smack it off of him and then smack him with it. Yeah. He's just really annoying, and he's also incredibly short compared to everybody else. And although usually I stick up for the little guy in the sense because I'm short, but this guy, I want him to be curb stomped, or thrown in the ocean and like dragged behind a boat or something. That would be equally entertaining for me.
Yeah, nice. I've never seen that franchise, so I'll just take your word for it and think he's a horrible person, and I want to see him die.
Yeah, funny enough, his death scene is also pretty cool when all the ships are attacking, and he just walks silently across the ship as it's blowing up around him. It's amazingly put together, and I love it. It's a little stupid, but when you don't think about it too much, in this Pirates of the Caribbean, it becomes stupid after the first movie. You just kind of have to watch it. But great death scene in my opinion.
Alright, so moving on to my number 4 is controversial, but it's Larry the Lobster from SpongeBob. Now here's the thing. I can't stand this guy. He is basically a gym bro, but he doesn't even have muscles. He has skinny fucking arms and a flabby ass body. I don't know why this guy thinks he's better than everyone else just because he has muscles. He is a narcissistic
I think that's the joke.
No. I know it's the joke, but I hate him. It's not funny. That's the one part of SpongeBob that I think is not funny. He is a narcissistic, egotistical maniac who relies on putting others down to make himself feel better. He did to SpongeBob in that one episode. Big Larry came just to put him down, and SpongeBob turned into a clown. You see? Just from that very beautifully written song, you can tell that Larry the Lobster is awful. He's just a terrible being. He just wants to make everyone else feel small and make himself feel big. And part of the joke or not, I hate him. I think he's a stupid-looking lobster. I think he should basically get eaten. I hope there's an episode in the future where they pick him out of the ocean and eat him, because I don't like him. I've never liked him.
No, I will give you early episodes. Larry is definitely a jerk, but in later seasons, which do kind of get worse throughout the show, but he does become more likable. I remember there was one episode where he's like running a gym, and he's getting stressed out over the amount of work that's needed for it. and he's like constantly training SpongeBob throughout the episode.
Yeah.
And you start to understand a little bit that like, yeah, he's a gym bro, and yeah, he wants to show off, but it seems that like he also deals with a lot of stress and maybe an anxiety, which is very profound for SpongeBob. But
Are you sympathizing with Larry the Lobster? Is that what I'm hearing right now?
well, I'm not like sympathizing Hitler. I'm just saying like, yeah, he's got a bad side, but he does that because he doesn't know how else to express himself and how to live with the anxieties of running a business.
I think, I just think he's a terrible lobster. I can't stand him.
Well, as a lobster, yeah, he's pretty terrible. He doesn't do anything a normal lobster would. But
there
this
actually
is
is a lot
SpongeBob.
of unlikable characters in SpongeBob, but they all have charm to them that Larry doesn't have.
See,
Like Mr. Krabs.
out of anybody in SpongeBob, it has to be Patrick for me. He's irritating, and he's a horrible friend to SpongeBob a lot of the time. He makes fun of him. He ditches him when SpongeBob needs him, and he's just kind of an awful friend. Like he just doesn't. If I was friends with Patrick, I would hate myself because he's just not a cool dude most of the time. Now, sometimes he is funny, but that doesn't make up for the things he's done to SpongeBob.
I agree. But Mr. Krabs is also pretty diabolical as well. There was an episode where he was trying to get Squidward killed so he could have his art collection and sell it. So that was pretty messed up. But also, there's still some charm to Mr. Krabs that Larry just does not have. And yeah, hate Larry the Lobster. But yeah, moving on to your number 4.
My number 4 from the hit series Supernatural that I only recently got into. But in season 7, the main villain, Dick Roman, who's actually not even the real Dick Roman, it's a Leviathan that takes his place, and he's the main leader of the Leviathan monsters. Very annoying. His name basically tells you what he is. And like he's slimy, literally and figuratively, and like it's kind of hard to explain just how annoying he is. Like he's like a businessman, like something from Wolf of Wall Street, but then he's also just a literal monster, and just both sides make just a really evil man that you want to see die, and thankfully you do. So it's good. I'm realizing that a lot of my characters on this list do die. Well, 3 of them, but honestly, it's deserved.
Yeah.
Also, Supernatural, just a great show.
Oh yeah, my mom watches that show, or did. I think she watched it from the first season when it came out to the very last season. She loved that show. Yeah. I've thought about watching it myself, but there's just so many seasons, and I don't know. I've never gotten around to it. Hopefully one day, because I don't see why I wouldn't like that show. I like that type of stuff, so I'll check it out one day.
It's a great show. I recommend it.
Who's your favorite, Sam or Dean? I think I asked that before, but I can't remember.
I have to go with. Oh, that's actually really tough because I like Sam because he's more my style of like trying to just live a normal life, I guess. But then he gets sucked into the family business, and like I feel bad for him a lot of the time because just that he loses his mom, he loses his girlfriend, and then so many other people along the way, and then he's constantly fighting with Dean, and I just feel bad for the guy.
Yeah.
But we can talk about Supernatural another day.
Yeah, of course. Moving on to my number 5. This one's a little bit stupid. I say that like Larry the Lobster wasn't stupid, but this one makes less sense. It's AJ from the Walking Dead game. I don't think you've ever played this. But I don't care if I spoil this one for you. But basically, I haven't played the game in a while, but just from what I remember, he was really annoying. He was a little kid. So, obviously they're going to be annoying, but it was a zombie apocalypse, and I just always felt like he was very agitating. Now, it's like a basically choose-your-own-adventure type of game, and the choices you make impact how he acts. So maybe I was just a horrible role model in the game, and that's why he was annoying. That could have been it. But I feel like in general, he was just kind of irritating. I just didn't like him. I kept kind of wanting to feed him to a zombie because he just was agitating me the entire game. He just wasn't likable. Like when in like the first game, and maybe it's not just a kid thing. Maybe he was just an annoying character because in the first game I did not get that vibe from Clementine. She wasn't really annoying. She was just a stupid kid, pretty much, in the middle of an apocalypse. But this guy, he's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just easily agitated. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, he's my number 5. He's not the worst. He's just a kid, but still annoying, and occasionally I want to kick him in the face.
That perfectly sums up when I think of you.
Yeah,
and it's funny that you both have the same name, AJ.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if that's why your parents named you after him.
No, I think his name is Alvin. Alvin Jr. Hold on, I'm gonna look that up.
It's not important. Yeah, sounds pretty annoying.
Yeah,
kind of like you.
Yeah, well, you're so funny.
Are you done with your spiel?
Yeah, I'm looking up his name.
You done? Okay, it's not that important. Anyway,
yeah,
my
Alvin
number
Jr.,
5.
I was right.
My number 5, another stupid one for the books, but the wallet guy from Back to the Future. Now, AJ hasn't seen these movies, so he can't confirm nor deny how annoying this guy is, but every time I see him, I want to punch him and hurt him greatly. He's just a random character that literally doesn't come up except for one scene, and he says, "Oh, I think he took that guy's wallet," and like I just want to like beat him. No homo. But like every time I see his face, I just get enraged, and I want suffering brought upon him. This has been a pet peeve of mine for the Back to the Future movies. Great franchise, love the movies, except for that one character.
Yeah, I need to watch those movies.
But he is kind of funny, so I can't lie to that.
Yeah, all of the characters Colin has listed, I don't know them. I don't think there's not a single person on his list that I know. But out of all the franchises he talked about, I would much rather watch Back to the Future. Seems like a great franchise.
Oh yeah.
But,
wonderful movies, and I hope they never touch them. They are perfect as is, and I hope that they never get ruined. And thankfully they won't, as long as Bob Gale is alive. But until then, we'll have to just hold our breath.
I think they're definitely going to remake them sometime in the future. It's almost inevitable with how much success they got.
Unfortunately, it is, but the director and writer, Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis, have both stated that they are not going to touch that movie as long as they're alive. So until then, which they are getting up there, but I hope they live forever, because I never want to see that movie get remade. If they ruin Back to the Future, I might cry.
Yeah. Okay, that's actually kind of a good question. You might have just answered it. But like, what one movie, it could be a franchise or not, would you think is like should be untouchable? Is it the Back to the Future movies? Or?
Definitely Back to the Future. But if I had to think of another one, I would go with Rango. Bit of a weird one. Like it's a weird movie and very niche, I think. But I hope no one ever touches that movie because it's perfect just at its own. Like, it doesn't need a whole series or franchise behind it. It just needs that one movie because it was so good and should never be touched again.
Rango was the one about the desert and the drought and the little chameleon, right?
Yes, and he was voiced by Johnny Depp.
Yeah, that's the one weird thing about that movie. I liked it, but the one strange thing that both my mom said too is that, like, for some reason, the chameleon, like Rango, he did not sound like Johnny Depp. Like, I know it was Johnny Depp, but from all the other movies I've seen with him in it, he sounded different. I don't know if he was, like, doing a voice or something, but, like, if I would have been watching that and I didn't know he voiced that character, I would have never been like, oh, yeah, that sounds like Johnny Depp. I don't know.
Yeah, he definitely sounds different, but I've just always known that was Johnny Depp. Literally says his name on the DVD, so that's how I always knew. But yeah, now that I think about it, he does sound a lot different.
Yeah.
But
like, I was like, wait, are you sure that's Johnny Depp in it? But then I looked up, like, yeah, it's definitely him. So.
Now, the one thing I would like to see with that movie is that when they were making the movie, No, it is it's CGI. Like it's not live action movie. It looks live action. It's pretty close, but it's kind of creepy. But I love the art
It's
style for it.
awesome. It's an awesome art
Um,
style.
but when they were making the movie, when they were like doing the voice acting, they actually acted out some of the scenes in the movie. Like the bar scene, I think I remember they did that, and like Johnny Depp actually walks into the movie like holding his belt and like walks in. They're like recording it as well. Um, and like I would love to see like a live version of that movie, like maybe a musical even. But other than that, I don't want to see a sequel to that movie. It's perfect as is, and I don't think there's anything they could do to top the original.
Mm-hmm.
So just leave it as is.
Yeah. For
What would be
me, the movie
your
I never wanted to see remade, but unfortunately was the greatest movie of all time, Steel Magnolias. They remade that movie, and I've never seen the remake, so I don't know if it's good or not, but it just did not need to be remade. It was a perfect movie, perfect cast, perfect everything, and they just remade it, and it breaks
what are
my
you gonna
heart,
do?
but, you know, what can you do? Yeah, but
Yeah, just don't watch it.
oh
Praise
yeah, just
God.
don't watch it. But it's just like, why do they always have to touch movies that are so gold and just remake
Oh
them?
yeah,
Don't reinvent the wheel. That's what I say.
true. You don't say that.
I always say that. That's my catchphrase. I always say that. Don't reinvent the wheel.
But yeah.
Yeah. Um. God, now I'm just thinking about how great Steel Magnolias is. Another good movie with Dolly Parton is 9 to 5. Have you ever seen that movie, Colin?
Oh no, I'm not.
It's a great movie. I definitely recommend it. Um.
Is she got like a job? Is that what it is?
Huh?
Is she like working a job? Is that what it
Well,
is? Because
yeah,
9 to 5.
it is, but you just have to watch it. I'm not gonna spoil the damn thing.
I mean, I don't need to see a woman go to work. That's just boring. I'd rather
It's
go
very
to.
entertaining, and that's not very feminist of you to say, Colin. And I don't really
Not,
appreciate.
it doesn't, if it was a man going to work, I wouldn't care. I don't want to watch someone do a 9 to 5. I'd rather go to a 9 to
So you
5.
don't like the hit Australian band Men at Work?
Men at Work, that's a good one. They really
Wow,
only
okay,
have
I see how
one
it
good
is. You
song.
like Men at Work, but
No,
not women. That's kind of upsetting.
well,
I think
how
you
do
should
I
walk
say
back
this
on a few
without?
things, Colin.
There's nothing to walk back on. You're taking my words out of context. I like
Oh.
the band Men at Work, but I am very thankful that women are allowed to work and go to jobs because they don't need to be cooped up in the house all day.
Exactly.
Where am I going to go when I don't want to talk to a woman?
Oh.
I'm joking.
We
I'm
support
joking.
feminism on this podcast very
I
heavily.
don't know. Well, I don't support toxic feminism, so I'll say that.
Okay, moving on now. From that conversation, sports.
I'm
How about
joking.
sports?
How do you go from talking about women to sports?
I don't know.
That's
That's
a
the
little
first
messed
topic
up.
that came to mind. So, any good sports news, Colin? Any good
What
news?
happened to that Brittany Griner girl? You know, the one that we trade a literal terrorist for.
Brittany Griner. Yeah, I heard about that. Is she back in the WNBA? She playing?
No idea. I think she got kicked out because she was doing weed.
Dude, doing weed.
Taking weed. I don't know. I don't do it.
Taking weed. Yeah, I don't. I'm not a huge basketball fan. I don't follow a lot of basketball. But I hear that. Huh?
Me neither.
Oh, I hear that player Caitlin Clark is pretty good. She came out of college and is now in the WNBA. I hear she's phenomenal. The one thing that is kind of upsetting, though.
I bet you do.
Huh? Yeah, she is. She's a phenomenal sports player and athlete. But
she's got a nice name too.
Okay. Moving on about her athletics, she's an excellent athlete. And the one thing that always kind of upsets me about sports teams and like star players is like when a new player comes on the team and they're very good, they get all of the attention. But you can't. One person can't, win the game for the entire team. So it always is a little upsetting when the shine gets taken away from the team and put on one person. It's not that player's fault necessarily. it just happens with media, so I'm not blaming
Yeah.
anyone, but it is kind
That,
of sad.
that's why I like following the Orioles because, yeah, when like Gunnar Henderson does something, like everybody's really happy and cheery. But then also you've got Kowser, who everybody literally moos, not boos. And like every player kind of has his own thing. And then you've got Santander, who like has some of the most amazing catches I think I've ever seen in the year that I've been watching baseball.
It's Santander, not Santander.
I've heard it a million different ways. I've heard Santander from my dad. So I don't even know how to pronounce his name. He's a phenomenal player. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think there's one player on that team that like is significantly better than everybody else. Like everyone kind of treats them pretty much the same. Like some of the other players you might not hear that much, but still get brought up every now and again. So that's why I like that. But then you've got something like the Ravens. You hear about maybe 3 of them on occasion. Like you've got Lamar, and then Odell Beckham Jr. Didn't he just leave the Ravens?
Yeah, he left after the season, I'm pretty sure. I'm just pulling up some UFC related stuff so I can talk about that.
And then Zay Flowers, like those are like the 3 that you would constantly hear, and then you don't hear about anybody else. Like I don't even think I can name another Raven right now.
What about Justin Tucker?
Justin Tucker, that's right.
He's the GOAT
really
on the Ravens, probably.
Oh yeah, he's amazing. He like broke his record like 3 times, I think.
I love Justin Tucker. He's the best.
He's great. He can also opera sing.
Yeah, of course. That's yeah. He's a baritone, I believe. That's pretty cool.
I love his Royal Farms commercial. It's hilarious.
I don't think he could do anything, and I'd be like, well, not anything. I mean, like entertainment wise, not like. Okay, that's not bad.
If he beat a woman in public, AJ, would you condone?
No, obviously not. I don't condone violence against women or anyone. I'm putting that out there.
It's your fault.
Okay. But yeah, coming up with UFC news, or I know Kylan's been really interested about that. This weekend we have the headliner for this weekend is Rose Namajunas versus Tracy Cortez. Should be a pretty decent fight. I don't think I'm going to be able to watch that. I'm going to be busy tomorrow. Or, not tomorrow, Saturday. Yeah, forgot what day it is. And then UFC 304... Huh?
Today's Thursday.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday.
I know how the calendar works, Colin. I know.
Well, it probably won't be Thursday whenever somebody's watching this, so... Yeah. Might be tomorrow, might be next week. I really don't know.
But anyway, but yeah, for UFC 304, July 27th, I'm pumped for that. You got Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad as the main event. That's going to be a snoozer because both of those fighters are point fighters. They don't really go for finishes. Leon Edwards does have a really good finish against Kamaru Usman. I think that's how you pronounce his name. That's where he won the title, I believe, if my memory serves me correctly. He does have he's a good fighter. Both of them are good fighters. They're just kind of point fighters, so it's probably not going to be too interesting. Leon Edwards is a striker. Bilal Muhammad is a wrestler. I don't know how that's going to go. Then for the co-main event, you have Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades. I'm really excited for that one. I'm a Tom Aspinall fan. Great interim champion. I hopefully we'll get to see him win the belt one day. That is, if Pereira moves up to heavyweight, then I want Pereira to win, obviously. But for now, I'm rooting for Aspinall versus Curtis Blades. Want him to win. Here's one that I'm really interested in. This one is Bobby Green versus Paddy Pimblett. Now, I feel like I would honestly be happy to see both of these guys knocked out. Bobby Green kind of irritated me when he beat Jim Miller in UFC 300. I was kind of upset about that. But at the same time, I would like to see Paddy Pimblett get knocked out because he's a little bit annoying. But, oh well. I'd be happy if either one of them won. I think it's going to be an interesting fight. Paddy Pimblett's more of a jiu-jitsu guy, while Bobby Green's more of a striker. Not a huge fan of either of them, but hey, I'm just looking for a good fight. That's pretty much there's 2 other fights on there, but I'm not really keen on those fighters. You got Muhammad Makaev versus Manel Cape. I'm not good at pronouncing some of these names, but that should be a good fight. Prelims look pretty good. I'm very excited. Hold on, let me scroll a little bit. Now,
And
this
with the
one, this
weather,
event,
it's hot as balls.
huh?
I was cutting you off.
Okay, but anyway, UFC on August 3rd. That's my anniversary with my girlfriend, so I probably won't be able to watch it. Okay, shut up. It's my anniversary, so I probably won't be able to watch it, but this fight card is stacked. You got Corey Sandhagen versus Umar Nurmagomedov for the main event. Gonna be a great fight. I'm also really excited for Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chiesa. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I think we're talking about UFC more on this podcast than Joe Rogan does on his own.
That's just not true. Joe Rogan's a commentator, so obviously he's going to talk about it more on his podcast. I won't talk about 305. I'm excited for that, but maybe next episode I'll talk a little bit about 305 if we have any UFC fans out there. But yeah, aren't you excited for all the upcoming combat sports events, Colin?
No.
Okay, moving on. Is there anything you want to talk about? Anything nerdy or interesting?
Well, not really nerdy, but something kind of creepy that I'd like to talk about.
Okay.
That I just recently watched a video on the Cecil Hotel.
Oh, okay.
Near, I forget where it is. It's in California somewhere, I think. I'm not really good with locations like that, but yeah, the Cecil Hotel, home of multiple serial killers actually, which don't know why they let that happen twice, but apparently. And then there's also the infamous case, Elisa Lamb, I believe is her name, college student that went missing. I don't know when. I didn't write any of this down. I'm just going off of what's in my head right now. But basically, she disappeared, and the only footage of her disappearing, or near the time of her disappearance, was in an elevator, where she ran down the hall, went into the elevator, started like sporadically pressing buttons and like ducking down and like hiding behind the wall or whatever, and then just kind of walked away, or maybe ran away. So like, many people believe that's like signs of like mania and like other mental illnesses, issues. And then she wasn't found until like a few days later or something in the water tank above the hotel, which is just utterly disgusting. This literally made me start gagging. But residents of the hotel were reporting like the shower was like leaking black ooze, and then it would turn to normal. And like the water in the tap like tasted awful. And when I heard that, I nearly gagged because that's disgusting.
Yeah.
And just the thought of drinking the liquids from a dead body in a water system makes me want to vomit. Anyway, so sorry if anybody's watching this during lunch. Get it?
Yeah, good one. Yeah.
But yeah, and so they found her body. Apparently, I think she was unclothed, but her clothing was with her in the tank. And then I think the final decision was that her death was from drowning. But many people say like she had mental illness and like it was some form of mania that like made her just act crazy. And obviously, when someone's in that state, they don't make logical decisions of anything. They do strange things, strange behavior. And apparently, a lot of people reported that like she was just like really loud, and she actually had to move rooms at one point because she was so irritating to her neighbors. And the cleaning ladies like had trouble with her once or twice, I think. And just like all around a really strange case. I don't think there was ever a decision of foul play involved. Like there was nothing looked out of place in her apartment, I think. So it was just like really strange.
Yeah.
Her death and disappearance.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask any comments on that.
Yeah, so I read a little bit about that case myself, and a lot of people like think that, oh well, it must have been foul play because who would commit suicide via water tank? But I used to think the same way, but then I saw this YouTube video. I believe it was from Nick Crowley. Much better content than ours, obviously, but the video showed evidence that the statistics for people who commit suicide via water tank is actually surprisingly high. Like, there's a surprisingly a large amount of people who commit suicide by drowning themselves in a water tank. And I think that kind of, in my opinion, takes away from the mystery aspect and just makes it sad, because clearly she wasn't in a good state of mind, and I think she killed herself. I don't think there was any foul play. I mean, there could have been. We'll never really know for sure.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's any new evidence going to come out of that. But this hotel is like literally Nightmare on Elm Street. It's terrifying how much happens at it. And I was just recently watching a YouTuber that like lived near the hotel or like across the street from it, and like it caught fire. Or no, I think that was his apartment that caught fire. But like he lived across the front, and there was constant like police going into the building, firefighters going into the building, screaming at night, you know, usual California things. But like, I think anywhere in the world, I would not want to be living at that hotel because it screams literally terrifying.
Wasn't the Overlook Hotel from The Shining like created, like modeled after that, or was it? I can't remember if it was the Cecil Hotel or the Stanley Hotel. That the
I think it was the Stanley Hotel, because I don't think it was the Cecil. The Cecil Hotel is like in the middle of a city, so it's not like out in the woods out of nowhere.
Yeah, hotels are kind of fucking creepy, honestly.
Oh yeah, hotels are just the strangest place. I think. Like, I think if I had to go top 5, that would be another good list. Top 5 scariest places to be at night.
Ooh,
that's
like
a good
vague,
one.
like can it be like vague too, like not specific necessarily?
Yeah, okay, like we'll do that next episode.
Yeah.
Whenever that will be.
Yeah.
But all right, look forward to that. But like, yeah, a hotel just like has such an eerie feeling to me that like
hotels, Hotel Travago. That was stupid. But hotels are kind of weird, and they're very boring too. Like, when you're in a hotel, I guess that's the point. You're not really supposed to hang out in a hotel, but you're supposed to do other things while you're at the hotel or sleep. But like, they're just kind of weirdly quiet, and they just have a weird vibe to them. And I've stayed in many hotels before. They just it's remarkable how like you would think like a place where you sleep should have kind of like a homey vibe to it, but it really doesn't. Like, it's everything but feeling like home, you know?
Yeah. And the one time I was at a hotel that had a pool, there was like one other person there at the time that I went swimming, and like back then I didn't like really consider that creepy, but now looking at it, like, this is a hotel full of people in, I forget where it was, but like summertime area, and one other person is in this pool at like just like the afternoon time, like just felt really creepy.
Okay, I thought you were talking about like late at night pool time, and there's two people in there. I'm like, that's creepy.
No, it might have been later in the day. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. Yeah. But like, I remember literally seeing one person in that pool, and like, I don't know, it's freaky.
Yeah, my father told me a story one time. Maybe I'll try to reiterate on this podcast. I gotta ask him, but he claims one time when he was on a road trip that there was someone in the hotel room with him when there shouldn't have been, or like he was like sharing a room with like a friend, and he swears that there was someone else in that room, but they were also drinking heavily at the time because it was a road trip. So who knows? I'll ask him tonight and see if I can get another briefing on that story. But yeah, hotels are just kind of weird. You know, the showers are horrible. I hate hotel showers. Like, I feel remarkably unclean after every shower I take at a hotel. Like, I think it's, like, I feel worse after taking a shower. And I think it's because the water pressure sucks, so you don't wash all the shampoo and residue out of your hair and off your skin, so you just feel kind of sticky. I don't know. But
yeah, no, I'd much rather go into like a chlorine pool and consider myself clean for the night than shower in a hotel shower.
And like, what's another thing? The one thing about hotels that is nice is, for some reason, all of the pillows are very comfortable. Like,
Oh yeah.
I had this very expensive pillow for a while, and I had like some knots in my neck, and it never helped. But then I sleep on a hotel room pillow, I wake up, and I feel fucking great. I'm like, really? I spend all this money on a pillow, and a hotel pillow is what helps my neck? Really? But I don't know, dude. Hotels they're strange.
Maybe one day we should do like vlogging and like go to haunted hotels or
That would
something.
be
That'd
cool.
be really cool.
Like after like
ghost hunting.
yeah, I would love to ghost hunt.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't need. You don't really need equipment. I mean, equipment does make it more interesting, but I think going with just some camera, phones, or whatever, just some old classic ghost hunting.
It would be kind of fun to like bring like a EKG meter, I think that's what they're called, and like just like the stupid little things and like the voice box maybe is like, I mean, we can just fake it all and like pretend that we're finding ghosts, or we could just show what really happened.
Yeah, I've talked about this before. I am a skeptic, but like if I ever see actual evidence of something, I will admit, okay, ghosts are real. If I see evidence, but I really do want ghosts to be real.
Yeah, I get freaked out with that type of stuff. Like just having my room black like this is a little freaky, especially having conversations like this. But when I'm with friends, I feel a sense of comfort, I guess, which is strange because I don't feel comfort around you. You actually make me even more scared. But I feel like hunting ghosts, like that would be really cool to go with a group of friends, like maybe 2 or 3 people, and just go around with some haunted hotel, haunted house or whatever. Like, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Well,
a graveyard.
Oh yeah, graveyard, man. Yeah.
Honestly, I'd feel more comfortable walking around a graveyard at midnight than I would at any hotel, only because there's already dead people there. Like, I know there's dead people there, and how many of them are really going to be ghosts? You don't get murdered in a graveyard.
Yeah.
You get buried in a graveyard. Exactly. Your ghost is going to be wherever you got murdered at. Mm-hmm. So there's probably not even going to be anything at the graveyard.
Yeah.
Unless you were murdered there, which that's convenient, I guess.
I think there are some haunted areas in our area, which is not going to be disclosed on the internet, but I think I've heard of a few places that are like kind of haunted, so maybe we should check those out.
There's a lot of creepy places around here we could go to.
Around the area of Michigan, where we are. Speaking of Michigan, have you ever seen that song, I think it's called Possibly in Michigan? Something like that?
It sounds vaguely familiar, and I don't know why.
It's weird. It's like some 80s crafty video about like a woman running from a cannibalistic stalker. It's weird.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but I'll definitely, make sure to keep track of haunted locations in the Michigan area. But that sounds like a plan for the future, though. Going ghost hunting.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That'd be really cool.
And God, imagine if we actually catch a ghost on camera.
If we did, that would be awesome. Like, I don't care if anybody even believes in it. Yeah. If we see it, that's all that matters to me.
That's another good question. What is something that you could see that would make you go 100% ghosts are real? There's no other explanation. What is something that you could see in person that would make you believe that?
I mean, other than seeing a physical apparition of a ghost, I think seeing a large object fall or like move a lot, like I'm talking something like 100 pounds, like if a safe fell over, there is no logical explanation to that. If it's dead silent, no one's moving around, it's pitch black, and a safe falls over, that's ghost activity right there, and you cannot tell me otherwise.
Yeah, I agree. I say either something very heavy falls, or something falls very dramatically, or seeing something. However, schizophrenia runs in my family, so I would have to have other people there to witness it to make sure, and make sure we all saw the same thing. Huh?
That's the biggest thing, is like having at least one other person there to see what you see. Like if a broom moves across the room and we both see that, then ghosts are real, 100%. No denying there.
Yeah. Dude, for October, I think we're gonna do some really cool things. Like even like we got to read a scary story a podcast, whether it's short or long.
We gotta do scary stories.
Yeah, and you got to set up your skeletons in the background.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah. But we're coming up on the end of the podcast. It's almost been an hour, so I think we should wrap it up here. I'll tell you, for an episode where we had nothing planned, this is honestly really good, in my opinion.
Yeah, this wasn't too bad.
We're probably not gonna be uploading for the next 2 weeks, but we'll get back on.
See.
Huh?
I said we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't see why we should push ourselves necessarily. It's not like we get paid.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we can take a break whenever we want.
Yeah, exactly. We're the boss of ourselves, right?
Yeah. Stick it to the man.
But yeah, so this has been episode 7?
7?
Shit, has this been 7 episodes? Damn.
Wow, look at us.
Yeah, I know. So this has been
how far we've come.
Yeah, far we've come. We have come far though. We've gained no subscribers, but I don't care. Well, we gained 1 subscriber, my girlfriend. She subscribed, but after that, no one has subscribed since. So.
I subscribed.
Yeah, you subscribed, so basically you and my girlfriend are subscribed. I haven't even subscribed yet, so.
Well, look at us.
But yeah, so this has been episode 7. I have been, AJ. This has been Colin. That has been Colin. Alright. I said this has been Colin, but I should have said that has been Colin, which is you.
Yeah. I'm no longer here. I'm gone.
Okay. All right. So,
I was here and then I wasn't.
So we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.
Yeah. Don't die.
Don't die.
But if you do, give us your address so we can check out your haunted house.
Hell yeah. All right.